Hi, thanks for watching BibleMountain.com. Our society does not like to talk about sin, and our society rejects the notion that each of us is a sinner. However, the Bible teaches us that sin is real and it's something we need to deal with. Now, Exodus 30 illustrates a concept called atonement, and then 1 John tells us that each of us is a sinner in need of atonement, and fortunately for us, Jesus Christ provides atonement for us. So let's take a look at this. We'll start in Exodus 30. In previous chapters, we're told that the Israelites were at Mount Sinai and God was giving them the Mosaic Law. In these verses, God told Moses to take a census of the Israelites. So let's start reading at verse 11. Yahweh also spoke to Moses, saying, "When you take a census of the sons of Israel to number them, then each one of them shall give a ransom for himself to Yahweh when you number them, so that there will be no plague among them when you number them." Now notice the word ransom. We associate that word in relation to kidnapping. When kidnappers kidnap a person, they demand a ransom, usually money, and once they receive the money, then they release the person that they have kidnapped. Now the use of this word here tells us that the Israelites were in need of being freed, released from something, and they had to pay a ransom in order to be released. Verse 13. This is what everyone who is numbered shall give: half a shekel according to the shekel of the sanctuary. The shekel is 20 gerahs. Half a shekel as a contribution to Yahweh. Everyone who is numbered from 20 years old and over shall give the contribution to Yahweh. The rich shall not pay more, and the poor shall not pay less than the half shekel when you give the contribution to Yahweh to make atonement for yourselves. Now notice it mentions both rich and poor, and notice that both rich and poor were supposed to pay the exact same thing. And then we see the word atonement. The concept of atonement is very similar to paying a ransom. When you paid a ransom, you were paying money to free yourself. Likewise, the idea of atonement is to atone for something so that you can be released and freed from something. Verse 16. You shall take the atonement money from the sons of Israel and shall give it for the service of the tent of meeting, that it may be a memorial for the sons of Israel before Yahweh, to make atonement for yourselves. Now here we see the word atonement twice. And again, this indicates to us that the Israelites had a need to be atoned for, had need to be freed from something. And then notice the word service. The money that was paid to atone for the Israelites was given towards the service of the tent of meeting. Now let's take a look at 1 John to see what this means for us. And let's start reading in chapter 1, verse 8. If we say that we have no sin, we are deceiving ourselves, and the truth is not in us. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and righteous to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar, and his word is not in us. My little children, I am writing these things to you so that you may not sin. And if anyone sins, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous, and he himself is the propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for those of the whole world. Notice the word deceiving. We are told that we are sinners, and if we think we're not, then we're deceiving ourselves. And so that tells us that our society is deceiving itself, because many people in our society don't like to talk about sin. They reject the notion that each of us is sinners. But we are told here very clearly that each of us is a sinner. And then notice the word confess. We're told to confess our sins. And that assumes that sin is real, and that assumes that we have sinned and have need to confess sins. And then likewise, we're told that he is faithful to forgive us our sins. But again, the fact that we need forgiveness assumes the fact that we are sinners and have sinned and have need to be forgiven. And notice the word advocate. We're told that Jesus Christ is our advocate. The word advocate is a bit of a legal term. We often think of lawyers as an advocate. A lawyer advocates on behalf of their client, or a lawyer argues on behalf of their client. Here we are told that Jesus Christ is our advocate. He argues on our behalf. And then notice the word propitiation. The concept of propitiation is very similar to the concept of atonement and the concept of paying a ransom. We're told here that Jesus Christ is the propitiation for our sins. That means that Jesus Christ has atoned for our sins. That means that Jesus Christ has paid the ransom for our sins. That means that Jesus Christ has freed us from our sins. And again, that all assumes that we are sinners and have sinned and have need to be forgiven and atoned for and propitiated for. Now, as I said, our society doesn't like to talk about sin, and our society rejects the notion that each of us is a sinner. However, the Bible tells us that sin is real and we have to deal with it. Exodus 30 illustrates a concept called atonement. 1 John tells us very clearly that each of us is a sinner who needs atonement, but fortunately we are told that Jesus Christ provides the atonement for us. He is our propitiation. He has paid the ransom to free us from our sins. If you haven't joined my email list yet, please do so. First of all, it is free. By signing up, you'll get immediate access to all my free content. It'll be delivered right to your email inbox. This is the best way to make sure you don't miss out on any of my free content. In order to sign up, go to BibleMountain.com, click on follow. There will be a place there to enter your email address. Once again, thank you for watching BibleMountain.com.